Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. Usher, MLK, and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap a seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears podcast. We back in the building. You know what I'm saying? Mr. DJ Rose with Verkeezy. You know what I'm saying? We do it for our people and we do it for the people. Verkeezy, man, what's going on? What we talking about tonight?
Well, you know, last week it was announced that we're going to get the Chris Breezy and Usher tour. You know, and there's been a lot of, people talking about it, commenting on it, a lot of reaction to it. Rose, what's your initial thoughts once you heard the news about the tour?
Are we going to get a versus? And who's going to be the headliner? Who's coming out last? Or are y'all going to rotate? If it was me, I would rotate.
I think it should be like the how they end up doing the Kings of Comedy, where eventually they realize we just gonna rotate or whatever, and then you kind of fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's certain cities where's Chris Brown from? Is he from Virginia or DC?
I'd say probably Virginia somewhere, yeah. East Coast. Yeah.
So of course if we in that area, hey, you got a headline.
Okay, that makes sense.
But if we in Atlanta, hey Usher, center stage. Because it's that just is what it is. But for the most part, they should take turns, in my opinion, man, because they both are the top of the echelon stars.
And also another initial thought was, who's coming on tour with y'all? And is it just gonna be y'all two? Which I really doubt that. So I know y'all gonna have some opening acts.
Bro, I didn't even think about that, bro. Just because they got so much music.
That's what I'm saying.
Is there even gonna be enough time to have other people open for them?
It got to be. Because you just can't pop out with Usher or pop out with Chris Brown. You got to warm them up first. You got to warm up the engine.
Shit, goddamn, how long is the concert going to be? Because niggas going to want to hear about 15 Usher songs. You going to want to hear 15 Chris Brown songs. That's 30 songs. That's 30 songs right there now.
Yeah. But they're not going to sing the whole song, but If it's
gonna be some nights. How some of these concerts go, it's gonna be some nights you gonna sing a song 3 times.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's like when Usher had his Vegas and his registry
in Vegas.
I was asking SQ about it. I'm like, I said, so did he do this song? He did all his songs. I said, he can't do all his songs. He did everything. I said, so he did this song? Yeah, he did that song. Then I started making up songs. I said, he did this song too? Yeah, he did that song too. I'm like, oh, okay, so he really did everything? I said, but you can't do everything.
Now, he gonna do all his songs, but he definitely gonna do the top 10 hits.
Yeah, so it's like, those are my initial thoughts. Like, who's gonna be the headliner? I feel like they should switch. That's gonna make more sense. And then how you said it, how
depending on where we at.
Yeah.
You know what cities you best at, and you headline this city because this city fuck with you harder, and I headline this city because this city fuck with me harder.
Yeah. And who's coming on tour with us?
I say this right here. If people do come on tour, man, that's gonna feed families right there, man. Because just to even be a part of that tour is gonna get you so much exposure. Because some of these people have comedians open for them and stuff like that. So whether you're a comedian, whether you're a singer, whether you're a rapper,
host them.
But some of them have hosts, comedians host, but some of them actually be having comedians.
I run a whole skit, not a skit, but
do a whole stand up bit and stuff like that. Because I forgot who it was. It wasn't Chappelle, but it was a comedian during that time. It might have been Bill Bellamy, but it was a comedian who was first starting out, told a story about how Aretha Franklin came to Detroit, and he did a 30-minute, set. And some of them do actually do that. And Corey Holcomb has said that he's done the same thing before. Some artists, he'll do like a little 30-minute set before they come on the stage or whatever. So same thing for DL. So
yeah, I know Little Duval. I know he had some concerts where he was the host, but he also like did a set. I don't know if it was 30 minutes. And the guy let's say Shouty, he's on the radio with Jock now.
Okay, I know you're talking about.
I remember he came here. I don't know what concert. It might have been Mary J. Blige's concert, but he hosted and he did some sets, but I don't know how long it was.
And I think it just depends on like how we say. If it's a whole bunch of artists, then they might just host. But if it's an artist that's big enough that can do a whole concert by themselves, then the comedian might just, because some of these artists, and I know this is better Aretha Franklin, rest her soul, but some of these artists have a habit of being not want to share the stage with other artists, so they'd rather have a comedian so they ain't got to compete with nobody, and then they can just come on stage and just do their thing. But the point is this though, whether it's a rapper, whether it's a singer, whether it's a comedian, even if you just a low level nigga, man, the exposure that's gonna get you, I didn't even think about that, Rose. Like the fact that you thought about that, that's dope right there. Cause like, bro, that's gonna really help some niggas out, bro. Cause this tour is gonna break numbers. We ain't like, bro.
I know they released the tour date, but how many? I mean, the cities, but I mean, they say how many shows they're doing.
I don't know. I saw the cities too. I would say probably about 30. It'd probably be at least 30.
30 shows.
Probably at least 30 shows, man. But yeah, my initial thoughts were, man, hide your bitch. Because these are two of the most disrespectful niggas when it come to that. Chris Brown just was on stage making out with a bitch who's married in front of the husband. And we saw what Usher was doing in his Vegas residency. So like, yeah, definitely hide your bitch because it's gonna be crazy. But also, I just thought to myself, yo, this is really awesome. We need to have more megastars like this because we don't really see this a lot. Like most of the time, when we kind of see big acts get together, it's usually once they kind of older. So like the Ozzy's brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire do a tour, but they not in their prime no more. Or Boyz II Men and Jodeci or something like that. But it's very because like you can argue they both are still hot. Chris Brown and Usher, like they both can still headline not just arenas but stadiums.
Yeah, they still fish grease.
So it's like, yeah, man, definitely, man. We need to get more. We need to get more like this. Like we need to get a Drake and J. Cole tour, man. We need to get more like people of this magnitude to tour. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, even though these are rappers, it would be crazy to see a Jay-Z and Nas tour. Like, if you are that up, or a Jay-Z and M tour, for example. But we need to get a lot of people in the South to tour together. Like, cause like this is definitely big. If they did do a versus, which way would you lean?
Oh man, I'm probably leaning towards Usher. Because of me, I'm more of a Usher fan than I am a Chris Brown fan. But Chris Brown got lots of hits too. But so I'm not going to. Like if me and you did a versus, I would probably rather do Usher than. I think we did it already one time before on Into Prompt, and I think I had Chris Brown, but I didn't know a lot of his songs.
Yeah.
So it was like I missed out on a lot of his songs. So it's like, but I didn't want to choose Usher either. So, but it's like we might have flipped the coin. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we did flip a coin, but I do remember I had Chris Breezy and you had Usher.
No, I had Chris Brown.
You had Chris Brown? Or I had Usher?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Because you didn't know a lot of Chris Brown music.
Yeah. So I'm leaning toward Usher because when we did the Usher R. Kelly one, that was a great night. You know what I'm saying? That was a great night.
Yeah, it was definitely fun, bro.
That was a good one, and like you played a lot of great songs. So it's like, and it was all radio hits. And it was like,
I think that's what makes it so hard for Usher is Usher got right at around 20 hit songs.
Mhm.
And like 10 of those songs are like the toppity top type of hits.
Mhm.
Like, you know, and I saw Ray Daniels say this, and I saw they say this on the Joe Budden podcast. And I'm gonna say this: I think a 20-song versus between Usher and Chris Brown would be close. You know, and if we're just going off of the music, I probably would go Usher. Because, you know, I think Yeah is one of the greatest songs ever to be recorded. You know, and so like that's unbeatable. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. It'll be close with 20. If we get to 30, Chris Brown is blowing him out the fucking water and it's not close. Because when I was getting my line together, the difference between you and me, and I know MGH and MGH, you know, wife was like, yo, we thought, you know, you killed with Usher and you won easily, da da da. But I'm gonna keep it real. I had it easy. Usher got like maybe 20, at the most 21 hits.
Mm-hmm. All radio songs.
So I didn't have no songs that I was like, oh man, I got it. Nah, R. Kelly different. R. Kelly got songs where it's like, man, I gotta cut this song for this song, but I like this song more than this song. Bruh, Usher's one of those rare artists that his 20 best songs is typically his fans' 20 favorite songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
R. Kelly ain't like that, and I'm be honest, Chris Breezy ain't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chris Breezy, his 30th best song might be your 10th favorite song by him. Like Chris Brown really got music like that. The only difference is Chris Brown just don't have a yeah. He ain't got a You Got It Bad. He ain't got like the toppity top hits that Usher got. Just because I'll be honest, man. If I had to say why, because I think Chris Brown is just as talented as Usher, if not more talented. I think when he came into R&B, the sound was just starting to become different. And R&B wasn't really if you remember when Chris Brown got an R&B really wasn't the club music no more. Hip hop had started taking over, and that was really the club music. When Usher was really making his prime, at that point in time, that was the club music, the R&B songs, especially like the dancing R&B songs. You know, like more so your generation, like probably when you was in like high school versus my generation. Like the biggest songs was like, in terms of the songs we in the club would be like the rap songs. But in terms of just like body of work, yeah, I can't really express enough that Chris Brown got 2 albums with like 30 songs on it, bro. He got his album with 50 songs on it. And these are albums that went platinum. Like and it's really like just top to bottom good. So like I would go Usher just off of the music, but I would say this in a live versus, I probably would take Chris Brown just because we've seen at these verses your ability to perform, your ability to be a showman, which I think Chris Brown is a better talker than Usher. I want to make this clear. If we get a motivated Chris Brown, because Chris Brown be in his mood sometimes where he's not charismatic, if that makes sense, where he's in a mood. But if he's charismatic and he's Chris Breezy, hey man, Chris Brown man got songs where he rap. You know, so I think in a live versus, Chris Brown can put on a show. He can basically do what Tank did to Tyrese, where we're going to be like, oh shit, man, he's dancing, he's pop locking, he's doing all this stuff. And I think this is the biggest reason why versus would hurt Usher versus Chris Brown, especially in this in the way they do it. And Chris Brown got at least 10 big artists he can just bring on stage with him. Like he got a song with Busta Rhymes. He got songs with Drake. He probably got a song with Future that I don't know about. Like
he got songs with everybody.
Yeah, he got songs with all these people. And some of these are his songs, but a lot of them are their songs. Usher wasn't known for that in his career. He wasn't really known for
getting on the hooks. Yeah, he didn't do the hooks.
Yeah, whereas Chris Brown, he got on a lot of fucking hooks. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he just was on the hook. Sometimes like that song Loyal, man, bro, that's a hot song right there. So yeah, I think versus a live versus where we start seeing him bring people on stage, I think that would benefit Chris Brown wholeheartedly. Speaking of verses, I had asked you this question when I was texting you. Would you want to see a joint Chris Brown Usher album?
Personally, no. I can do without it. But if they want to do it, that's fine. But personally, no. I'm perfectly fine without it. So it's like, nah. Would it be cool? Yeah, I think it would probably be cool. Would it be good? Yeah, I think it probably would be good, especially if Chris Brown raps on some of them, and and Usher gets on some of the hooks and let Chris Brown rap some. I think that would be dope. That would be dope. Not on every song, but just on a song or two, because he says he likes to rap too. So
Yeah.
So that would be dope. And, or even if they wanted to rap together, but I don't want to hear Usher rap. But that would be dope. But nah, I ain't here for it. But I'm pretty sure other people will be.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna. I'm here for it, bro.
Yeah.
Cause I like both of them music. I like both of them music a lot, and I ain't gonna lie. I remember when Usher and R. Kelly was doing a project together, and they had dropped some songs that was really hot. And when I think about this relationship between Chris Brown and Usher, it reminds me of R. Kelly's relationship with Usher, like that big bro, little bro shit. And they seem very cordial. And I feel like Usher should do that for Chris Brown. I feel like he should be like, yo, man, let's drop some music for the fans, because they both got classic songs and classic albums. And I feel like if they got together to do a project, especially, this is no disrespect to Usher. I think Usher is an amazing vocalist, an amazing singer. I think Chris Brown might be the better artist from what I've heard from people like Tank, because Chris Brown is closer to R. Kelly than Usher is in terms of his ability to produce a song, hear the notes. And I feel like, man, Chris Brown can get in the studio with Usher and get some of the best work out of Usher, like how R. Kelly do a lot of people, man. I mentioned R. Kelly names a couple times, man. So, a lot of people, when they talk about the kings of R&B, Chris Brown and Usher names come up. Like, do you think their names deserve to be in that conversation? And would you put either one of them like number one or number two?
We're not talking about Kelly though. Kelly's not in the list. So, or Kelly's still on the list.
Yeah, he's still on the list. He make R&B music.
Okay, so no, I'm not putting him above.
Neither one above Kelly.
Not the Pied Piper. You know what I'm saying? The Pea Pisser. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I think R. Kelly would be number. If I had to rank all three, I would put R. Kelly 1. If my personal preference, Usher would go 2, and then Chris Brown would go 3.
Yeah.
I am sad though that R. Kelly locked up, because if R. Kelly was free, do you think this would be a 3-person tour?
No, just Chris Brown wouldn't be on it.
So you think it would just be Usher and R. Kelly?
Yeah.
I mean, it probably maybe, man, but I know R. Kelly cool with Chris Brown, because I know when Chris Brown did.
That's just too much, though. That's too much.
You probably right, man. People probably couldn't afford that tour.
That's too much.
You probably have to make at least $100K a year to even go to them shows. But nah, man, that concert would have to at least be 5 hours long.
Yeah, that's too.
Because they got so much music, man. R. Kelly, Chris Brown, Usher. Why we don't have an Usher, Chris Brown, R. Kelly song?
Yeah.
Because they was all hot at the same time. Shit, R. Kelly got a song, Usher got a song, Chris Brown. I don't think R. Kelly got a song with Chris Brown though.
He might, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he got a song with Chris Brown, but they should have a trio song together, man. A trio song together, man. And before we move on, what's so crazy about this though? We talk about all the problems that hip hop have. It's so crazy because R&B, sometimes it don't get publicized that much, but a lot of the best R&B artists have some of the most troubled paths. Because here you got they was making a joke about the Chris Brown and Usher tour, and I think it was the herpes versus the beat ups or something like that. No, it was the herpes and bruises.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the herpes and bruises tour, and I thought that was very funny, man. But it just shows that a lot of the best artists in that genre have some type of baggage. Is there a reason why you think that's the case?
Yeah, because the pumps and the bumps, the pumps and the bumps, the pumps and the bumps.
That's what it was. It was the bumps and the bruises. That's what it was. They was calling it the bumps and the bruises tour.
Oh no! Would you rather get bumped or bumped up? You know what I'm saying? But saying which one would you rather have? You rather get beat up, or every once a month, or have flare ups? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It's hoes out here who got herpes, man, and they niggas paying to get the herpes.
Yeah, man. That don't mean it's smart.
So
I'd rather get punched in the face before I get bumped up.
Hey man, that sound like a very sad situation that leads to a lot of crying. Moving on to TNT.
Dynamite, tears or no tears. Boom.
So unfortunately, there was a murder at Steak and Shake. Somebody was mad about their order. What's your thoughts on this, Rose?
Man, it's crazy, man, because why? Steak and Shake? And you get mad about your order and you pull back around and let rounds go? And then somebody dies and other people get hurt? That's crazy, man. That's crazy, because I can understand they hit you with the 2-2-3, and then you came back around and hit it with the 2-2-3 because somebody rolled your nuggets on the ground, but just because your order was wrong, somebody dip your burger in mop water, you know what I'm saying? But hit you with the A-Town stomp on your burger, you know what I'm saying? You saw them do that, then yeah, they might deserve, you know what I'm saying, to get some hands put on. But as far as coming around with the 12 gauge shotty, or you know what I'm saying, and let the rounds go, man, that's crazy, man. I got tears.
I got tears too, man. I feel like sometimes in society we got to keep in mind, bro. Everyone don't play, and you got to be mindful of who you dealing with, and that not everyone is playing with the same deck of cards, bro. Like you and me might got 52 decks cards in our deck, and some people playing with 32.
Yeah, they playing without the jokers.
Yeah, they playing without the jokers, bro. So
ace high.
So you got people. I think sometimes people got to keep that in mind, that man, like an interaction that you might normally end with just you cussing someone cussing you out, it can end daily in some situations. So be very mindful how you interact with people, because you never know if someone got a screw loose, but also you never know if, man, this could be that day. They done went home, wife was cheating on them, they got in the car, they said, I'm gonna go get something to eat and I'm gonna go, just blow my brains out. And the next thing you know, you fucking with them, and they like, you know what? I'm gonna take myself out anyway. Mm-hmm. I ain't going alone.
Somebody coming with me.
I'm coming from around the way. Mm-hmm. Hey man, unfortunately, talking about more murder, man. There was a female rapper, I think she was out of Detroit, but she had been in Atlanta for 10 years, said Diddy, who was pregnant at the time and was shot over some foolishness. I got more tears, man, just because, first of all, it's crazy because I just saw a video of Lotto. She's pregnant. She was popping out at the concert, twerking and shit. And it's like, man, a lot of times, man, especially in our community as Black people, we got to remove ourselves from certain situations. So dealing with some of that street life and some of that ghetto shit, it really don't make sense to still partake in that shit and understand that you're a pregnant woman. Why is you putting yourself in positions where something like this can even happen? Because especially in this situation, not only is your life lost, a child that can't even protect itself, because it's because you got to protect the child, loses his life too. Yeah, I got huge tears.
Yeah, I got tears too because she wasn't she wasn't that good on the mic, but I'm pretty sure she was excellent on that other mic.
God damn.
But so that'll be the last time she rocked the mic, and so I got tears, man, because she could have been something one day.
Hey man, talking about someone who's something, another female rapper, Glorilla, one of the most popular female rappers going today in 2026. So last year, it's actually funny because this she actually posted assistant job last year
Yeah,
for 550 a week. But I guess for some reason now it's catching headlines and people is criticizing her. So she made a video saying, hey man, that's good money or whatever. I'm paying for your flights and I'm paying for this. You gotta understand, I fly a lot, you gotta move around, and half the stuff on the list you ain't even gotta do. It's just you might have to do it. Y'all motherfuckers funny. I ain't got no tears, man. I mean, I can understand some people feeling like 550 a week to do that job ain't a lot, which I'm gonna be real. That's not really a lot of money. But I will be honest, if you've listened to a lot of people who are in the industry, man, you take jobs that's very low paying to get your foot in the industry. So if you're someone who really wants to be in the industry, especially the music industry, yeah, you take this job. You don't think twice about it because it's not about how much money you're making from Gorilla. It's about the opportunity to network. Because she's gonna put you in rooms and put you around people that you're gonna have connections to, and you're gonna be able to, like, if you're a producer, for example, if you're a singer or songwriter yourself, you're gonna have access to people you wouldn't have access to, and you'll be able to get them beats and songs and stuff like that to eventually blow up yourself, man. So that's something that you got to keep in mind when you're trying to get on the come up.
yeah. She should have basically gave that job to Brorilla, and then then he what he she or well they could have had they could have got that 2,500 by the end of 2 months. So I think that's probably should have been a job for her bro sister, but it's a regular person want the job. Why wouldn't you want that job? I would take that job right now. If I didn't have to, if I didn't have like, especially a younger person, but I can't live off that money. I need more than that. But a younger person, like straight out of like high school, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be in the industry, you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no responsibilities. It's that's a heartbreak. Ain't none of them complaining about that. And then 550 for them a week is pretty good.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school.
And it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's the biggest thing. Like, just the opportunity to get your foot in the door in the industry, that's a big opportunity. So I feel where Gloria coming from.
Yeah, I ain't got no tears.
Hey man, so somebody who felt like their job was not paying them enough. So there was a man in a warehouse. I think he was making what, 16.50 an hour, Rose. And so he posted a video of him lighting. It looked like toilet paper on fire.
Your toilet paper?
Toilet paper on fire. And eventually the whole warehouse burned down. A lot of product was lost. He got arrested. And, it brought up, a lot of people was talking about the company is worth a lot of money and them not paying their workers a fair wage. I mean, I got tears, man, because this is just a microcosm of society, man. Like we living in a day and age where the wage gap is worse than it's ever been. The people who have and the people who don't have is worse than it's ever been in this country. And a lot of people are really like, yo, bro, we are getting paid a salary or a wage that we cannot live off of. I'm not condoning what the nigga did, but when you just look at the stuff that's happened in the last year, Rose, from this incident to the incident with the dude who killed the healthcare dude, like a lot of people in this country is like, yo, it's very hard to live based off of what society is trying to give us right now. And then we got to watch the rich just like coast.
Yeah, man. I got tears, man, because every every time I go to either Walmart, if I don't go to Sam's to get the toilet paper, I got to go to Walmart or a Family Dollar. Man, I be crying because the prices be so high, and it'd be like, Now the price is gonna be even higher because they got to recoup that. Like, man, I can't even take I can't drop no deuces without him thinking about him. Like, oh man, now if the price is double, just like these gas prices did, now everybody gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying? And that was some of the stuff that he got burnt. That was some of the good stuff. It wasn't the one ply that he gonna have in jail. It was that 2-3 ply. You know what I'm saying? You need that. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like so every white, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be a tear. You know what I'm saying? Because people's butts gonna be burning and cut up because he burnt up all the good tissue.
Hey, so we're gonna wrap up TNT. With definitely something somber. So popular influencer Ashley Janae was found dead. I want to say it was Australia. She was on vacation with her husband. It was Africa, my bad. She was on vacation in Africa with her husband. She was found hanging in the hotel. There's many different reports. Initial reports claim suicide, but the police are continuing to investigate. The husband is the number one suspect right now, as in most of these cases. And there's reports from hotel staff and other people that claim that when they was at dinner, they was arguing to the point where they had to be separated, and the hotel manager basically, had to give her own room because of how bad the argument was. Um, I got tears of sadness. It's always sad when something like this happens, um, especially because she seemed very successful. I did not know her, but when I was watching the Joe Budden podcast, she had apparently been on the Joe Budden podcast a few times. Joe even said that was a friend of his, that she had been a big influencer since the pandemic. So, it makes you wonder if it was a suicide, what did she have going on in her life for her to commit that tragedy? If it wasn't a suicide, if her life was taken, that's just sad too, man, because we just had a conversation about interracial relationships and what how dangerous white men are, but for some reason are not perceived that way. Yeah, so I definitely got huge tears.
Yeah, I got tears. I didn't know who she was, but she went over there for her birthday, her 31st birthday. She got engaged. I learned about her too on watching Joe talk about her on the Joe Budden podcast, the JBP, and he said she was a friend and that she came off a Clubhouse when the pandemic, and she really loved this man, and she was a stepmom to his kids, and and they and she seemed happy. And I don't know her, but I just think it's a sad situation all around because we don't know what happened. And then when these people go across the water and go to other countries, you know what I'm saying, they investigate things differently than we probably investigate things over here.
For sure, for sure.
So I don't. It could be better. It could be worse. I don't know. But it's just sad that her life is not here anymore because from what I hear, she was a good person. But I don't know her. I never seen her online or nothing like that. But from what I hear, she was a good person.
Ditto, ditto, ditto. I agree to those sentiments. I don't know what's wrong with things in this life. I don't know what's wrong with these hoes.
What's wrong with them, man?
So there was this I ain't gonna say podcast. It was more like an interview setup where this one woman was interviewing this other woman, and she looked like she was a little bit older, her to be honest. The woman that was getting interviewed, and asking her. It started. The first clip I saw was, "Yeah, man, I left my kids, 10-year-old son at home with my other kids because I'm around my kids all the time, and I need some grown up time. I need some time to be around other grown ups, and like they was fine. I got a responsible 10-year-old son." And the interviewer was like, "Yeah, I'm a mother, so I understand how it is." And then, she basically asked him like, "Well, how did you tell anybody the kids was there?" "Nah, But my friend, she got the ring camera on her phone to my house, and that's how she knew. Then I saw there was a second clip of the friend saying, "Yeah, man, she always be leaving her kids at home to do other stuff. So yeah, I called child services or whatever, and then they came face to face, and it was a whole big thing." What's wrong with these hoes?
Man, tell your mama to watch them kids. Say that like your friend do. That's what's wrong with it, man. She wanted to shake it like her friend did. Man, she should have told her mama to watch them kids, though. You can't be leaving the kids at home. I thought it was just a 10-year-old by itself, but 10-year-old watching other kids, yeah, that ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Especially and especially when you don't know where you living at. Most of y'all hoes on Section 8, living in bad parts of town. Yo, you got beef with other people's baby mamas and beef with dudes. You messing with drug dealers and all this other stuff. People knocking on your doors. Man, you got to stay away from that stuff, man. Y'all hoes got to do better, man. Y'all hoes got to do better, man.
You know what's so crazy? This ain't like it was back in the day when you would hear stories about people leaving their kids at home, like that 10-year-old son or 10-year-old daughter to watch their little brothers and sisters because the mama had to work a 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
So the mama was a single mother trying to make ends meet, doing what she had to do to put a roof over her kids' heads and feed them. And you had to she had to be like, hey, I need you to be a big girl. I need you to be a big boy and take care of your little brothers and sisters because I'm going to be gone. Don't let no one in the house, die. I'm not saying that's right, but I understand it. But nowadays, Rose, these hoes be leaving their kids at home by themselves to just hop on a random nigga dick. Because for you to try to phrase it as, I just need a grown-up time. I'm around my kids all the time. I need to be around other grown-ups. Bitch, you had them kids. Ain't nobody put a gun to your head and said you need to pop out these kids. You got pregnant. You chose to keep those kids. And you had them kids. And you was not able to maintain a man in your life to help you raise them kids. So like you said, Rose, hey man, talk to your grandma, talk to your sister, talk to your best friend, talk to your mama, talk to somebody. If you need to go to the club that bad, you need to get a babysitter first.
And it's like nowadays y'all beg dudes for everything else. Why you ain't beg somebody for a babysitter? Beg a dude to pay for the babysitter. Y'all beg for everything else. Can you buy me some lunch? Can you who's on this live is go to send me something so I can go get me a burger? Who on this live go send me something so I can go get me a bottle? Who on this live go send me something? You see it all the time, scrolling, and all they doing on TikTok live, begging. And you should have begged for a babysitter.
And you know, so crazy, man. When I was young, I see a lot of movies back in the day where parents would, go out for dinner or whatever and pay a babysitter. Someone that was a teenager or early 20s to watch their kids. And do they not do that no more? Like, does that not exist no more? Do like you paying somebody to watch your kids? Is that something that's obsolete?
You would think they still do that.
Yeah, because you could find somebody to do that, I would think.
And now it's even easier because of the internet.
Yeah, you got the internet.
They probably got apps for that.
Yeah, they probably got apps for that, but they got a whole resume. They with a background check and all this shit. Like, yo, you pay for that Uber, you pay for that Lyft, you pay for that bottle, you pay for that weed. Woman, get $40 to $50 and pay for someone to watch your kids for 3 to 5 hours so you can go do whatever it is you need to do, but bring your ass back home. In the words of Craig, come back. Long as you're going to come back, go and do what you got to do. But definitely have someone watch your kids, man, because, my last thoughts, man, this shit can be very dangerous when you leaving children at home to govern themselves. Moving on to the last topic of the night. So me and my brother TTK, we was watching the podcast, and there was an interesting conversation about if hip-hop was a class and you had to pick 10 artists, 10 hip-hop people in hip-hop to tell the story of hip-hop from its beginning to now, who would the 10 people be to truly encapsulate hip hop.
So before we get started, I want to go down a history lesson of some things, and so the people can go back and look it up and things like that. But according to Bill Nye Science Guy Internet, like Vertizi like to say, um, the first rap performance was in 1944. The Jubileans they did it was actually a church song called Noah, and Buddy got on there and started rapping about Noah. You know what I'm saying, about getting on the ark and all that other stuff. And that was in 1944. In 1973, there was a guy named Coke La Rock. You know what I'm saying? He worked with DJ Kool Herc from the Bronx. They're from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? He was I guess coined the first rapper. You know what I'm saying? But of course there was probably rappers before him, but he was coined the first rapper. But in 1979, the Sugar Hill Gang, you know what I'm saying, they dropped Rapper's Delight, and that was pretty much known as the first rap song. So I guess some of these, you know what I'm saying, the Jubilarians and Colt LaRock, they they had rap melodies in the song, but Rapper's Delight is coined as the first rap song. But the people before them had, I guess, rap melodies in the songs that they were on. So I thought that was interesting. I did a little research on that. Um, so, but as me being a teacher and thinking about these 10 people, it was hard to come up with a list. You know what I'm saying? Because at first I thought maybe these 10 rappers are going to teach a class today, but we're teaching the class today. So class is in session. So you want me to go first, Bertiz, or you want to go?
It's up to you, man. I'm good either way.
Okay, so I'm. I guess I'll go first. I'll go
Or if
first.
you want to go back and forth.
Okay, we can do that. I'll let you start.
Okay, man. So the first person I had was Curtis Blow. And the reason why I had Curtis Blow, he was the first rap superstar. Like, he was the first person to really make money in rap. He had the first gold record with the Breaks. You know, he was the first rapper to sign to a major record label, Mercury Records. So I feel like, to really encapsulate him, like, Curtis Blow, he had some of the early hit songs from the Breaks to Basketball. He was someone that basically laid the foundation to other people to be like, you know what? This is a genre that we can actually enter into and we can actually make real money in. And if you can't make money in something, a lot of people might not even have the inspiration to enter into it. So Curtis Blow, that's who I would start off with. Boom.
Yeah, I'm starting off with Rakim. Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start off with Rakim, because him, he's like I said, he's probably your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. So it's like when you talk to people like old school rappers like Jay-Z, Nas, you know what I'm saying, Pac and Biggie, they probably go mention Rakim in that light as some of their tops, or a person at the top of their list of their best rappers. So that's why I'm starting out with Rakim.
And it's funny, man. My second rapper is actually Rakim, because when hip hop first started, it was just like party music. Curtis Blow and Sugar Hill Gang and all them people, like, they were just making songs that they played at parties and stuff like that. Rakim was the first rapper to really say, "Yo, let's get lyrical." And if you listen to a lot of like the rappers you just named, like his lyrics was so ahead of his time in the 80s. Like, he was the first lyrical rapper, but also the first real storyteller in rap. And the whole art form of rap is built around storytelling. I don't feel like you can tell the history of hip hop without Rakim. Because a lot of people will tell you, man, I love this rapper, because they're a great storyteller. I love this rapper because of their lyrics. Rakim was the first one to actually say, yo, we're gonna put that in hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. So next I got Ice Cube. I got Ice Cube next because MWA, like you know what I'm saying, Easy E was the face of that, but Ice Cube was the pen behind it. Dr. Dre had the beats, but it's like Dr. Dre wasn't really a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He was a rapper, but he rapped, but I consider him more of a producer, and you know what I'm saying, than a rapper. And I believe out of that group, Ice Cube the was the rapper, and from what they came from, well, all of them, and then what Ice Cube has done with the movies, the acting, his son now being a major actor, you know what I'm saying? It's just him as a person, as an actor, as a if it wasn't he started in rap, if it wasn't for that, there would be no Friday. It would be no one of everybody's favorite movies, Friday. You know what I'm saying? People still talk about Friday to this day. They begging for another one. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put Ice Cube on there.
And I want to let the listeners know, man, me and Rose had talked beforehand, and we all gonna do something a little bit different when we do our list. Most of the time, we just give our list, and that's it. When we finish giving our list, we will come down to a consensus list, y'all, where we have to talk to each other and find 10 of these people to agree upon. So far, out of the first three names, we only got one person we agree on. I got LL Cool J. You know, if Curtis Blow was the first rap superstar, man, LL Cool J was the first megastar. He took what Curtis Blow, boom. Def Jam is one of the biggest record labels hip hop has had in its history. Def Jam ain't Def Jam without LL Cool J. Def Jam was like LL Cool J was the first one to bring swag to hip hop. You know, the way he wore his gold chains, the way he worked out, he brought the sex appeal to hip hop. He brought the first rap ballad where you could actually make a song for the ladies. You know, he was that one who brought the ladies into hip hop because it was just so urban up until LL Cool J. But then LL Cool J started getting on the mic, and then you had brothers who wanted to be him, ladies who wanted to be with him. And we didn't have that to LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. Grab the mic.
Yeah, true that, true that. I wanted to put them on my list. It was so hard to have some lists, but we're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. So next up, I got Puff Daddy. I got
Can't
Puff.
stop. Won't stop.
Yeah, I got Puff Daddy next, man. I talked about Dr. Dre earlier.
Puff Daddy with the baby or without it.
Both of them. You know what I'm saying? All three of his names. You know what I'm saying? Puff Daddy, Diddy. You know what I'm saying? The Diddler, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Puff Daddy, because we're gonna talk about another guy on my list. But if it wasn't for Puff Daddy, man, so much stuff. Like he's had his hands in so much things within hip hop and within rap. You can't you can't you can't teach a class without talking about Puff Daddy.
So I got someone that's similar to Puff Daddy P Diddy, and he's connected to Ice Cube. I'm going Dr. Dre, and I know he's mostly a producer, but he raps too, and he's a big component of hip hop. Now the reason why I went Dr. Dre, one, he was the first major producer in hip hop. Like he was the first person that really was like the production of the song, the producer might be more important than the actual rapper. We never thought that to Dr. Dre. Two, he was basically the foundation of NWA. He brought us Easy E. He brought us Ice Cube. He eventually brought us Eminem. And without NWA, we don't get gangster rap. And that's the other reason why Dr. Dre is so important to this list. Because we went from making party music, we went from being flashy in our rhymes, we went from just telling stories Two, Dr. Dre, basically with NWA, they started telling gangster rap stories, and that started a whole nother genre in hip hop that even to this day is still going on.
Okay. Next on my list, I'm trying to think of what I need to go with, but I'm gonna jump out there. I'm going Tupac. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite rappers of all time, dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how people now disrespect All Eyes on Me. Talking about, oh, it didn't age well, or this that wasn't a classic. And like, pull it up.
You need to listen to it again.
Pull it up. Pull it up. Come on, man. Man, it's we could talk all day about Tupac, but I'm going Tupac, man. Gotta have him on the list, man. Man,
Well,
got shot 5 times and he was still breathing.
hey man, we 2 for 5, bro. I got Tupac because of all the reasons you named, but Tupac was the first global star in hip hop. The first global star. Like he took hip hop to a level that we did not think it could reach to. Also, yeah, Tupac did rap about gangster stuff, but he was like one of the, like you could say Chuck D, because Chuck D did rap a lot of conscious stuff, but unfortunately, and there's no disrespect to Chuck D and Public Enemy, they never reached the popularity of Tupac. Tupac was the first major person of his level to rap consciously, but not just rap consciously, to rap politically. Like he let it be known that, hey, we can use our words to inspire people, to inspire generations, and he motivated a lot of people. There was a lot of people that was inspired by Tupac. He told the struggle of the everyday civilians. Like Tupac didn't just say, "Yo, I'm just a gangbanger." No, he actually told you how it was growing up in the hood, which was one of the first times we actually heard that kind of storytelling from a rapper who was telling you not what the nigga with the gun was doing, the nigga who lived next door who heard the gunshots, what they was doing. And Tupac is very influential into hip hop. And then this is the last part. He showed rappers, yo, we can make movies, dog. Like he was the first big rapper to make a lot of movies. Yeah, you had Ice-T who had did a movie here and there, and there was some other rappers who had kind of did some stuff, but Tupac was actually becoming a movie star. And so when you see ASAP Rocky do highest to lowest, when you see T.I. in the movies, when you see Andre 3000 take a break from hip hop to start acting and stuff like that, when you see 50 Cent what he's doing with Power, who you think inspired him to do all that? Came from Tupac.
Next person on my list, they're connected. I wanted to put them as one person so I could add more people to my list, but Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, baby. When we talking about like Vertizi talking about lyricists, storytelling, he might have been the best to ever do it. He's the only person I heard say some gay stuff and make it sound good. And it's like, oh, this guy is so hypnotizable that he can say gay things and make it sound good, and every straight man be saying it and don't even say pause. Man, shout out to the Biggie Smalls, man.
Hey man, we 3 for 6, bro. I went Biggie too, man. And for all the same reasons you just said, except for the gay shit. But he's connected with Tupac. You gotta have Tupac and Biggie because it's the first time in hip hop where it showed that these words matter. That what you say on the mic can lead to you dying. They both made songs, and that is even though Biggie's song "I Shot You" wasn't a deliberate diss song, but those songs had people thinking they was connected. It led to their deaths, unfortunately, and it showed, yo, this is serious. As well as Biggie, one of the best storytellers in hip hop. Like he took storytelling to a whole nother level. The lyricism he took to a whole nother level and inspired so many people. And he made New York rap because at one point in time, Tupac as well as the West Coast had started taking over to the point Biggie brought the East Coast back, brought New York back. And without Biggie, do we get a Jay-Z? Do we get a Nas? Do we get a DMX eventually? Like he really put New York back on the forefront and inspired a lot of people who came after him.
Yeah, so next I'm going Jay-Z because he is the guy that most benefited from Pac and Biggie dying. If it wasn't for Pac and Biggie dying, Jay-Z is not Jay-Z today. There's no way that Jay-Z is the person that he is today if it wasn't if Pac didn't die and Biggie didn't die. So Jay-Z, one of the I'm not sure if he was the first or I know he's one of the first billionaires rappers that became billionaires. Um, I think Dr. Dre probably was the first one, but I'm not 100% sure. But I believe it was Dr. Dre, but it might have been somebody before Dr. Dre. But I remember Dr.
Nah, I think those are only two.
Okay,
Dr. Dre and Jay-Z.
Yeah, so become a billionaire, you know what I'm saying? Had the baddest chick in the game wearing his chain, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Then we talked about the rap beef and words and the song means something. You know what I'm saying? Him and Nas had that beef, and that turned that right there because it led to we can have battle rap and nobody got to die. We can keep it on wax.
True.
We can keep it on wax and both make money off of it.
True.
So, Jay-Z.
I'm gonna stick with New York before I go to my next person because I want to go back to Biggie. I left something out. Another big part about Biggie is, because unfortunately, I'm just going to spoiler. I don't have a female rapper, and that really hurt my heart to not be able to put a female rapper on here. But Biggie gave us Little Kim, and that gave us the introduction of female rappers being stars. Now, hey, we agreed 2 in a row. Now we disagreeing again. I don't have Jay-Z. I know a lot of people are going to be mad about that, and I'll explain why later. I got Outkast. They brought the South into it. And yeah, there was other people, you could say 3 6 Mafia, you could say Master P, but they became so mainstream with it that we probably don't get how the South has taken over hip hop the last 20 years of Outkast doing everything they did in hip hop. They have one of the most viral moments in hip hop history where Andre says the South got something to say. And that was a very powerful moment in hip hop. We got them talking about the street life, but as well as we got a lot of creativity and weird stuff from Outkast, sounds that we had not really heard in hip hop before, sounds that was different. Like when you hear the song Bombs Over Baghdad, I remember listening to a conversation last year, and there was somebody, in fact, it was Bomani Jones saying when he heard it for the first time, it was so different. It sounded like it was a song made for the future, and they was experimenting with those kind of sounds that led to other people in hip hop and not talk too long to them. We gave them their props and their roses and their crowns when they got inducted. It was it hip hop? Was it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And there was a lot of people that kept saying, we are not who we are without Andre 3000 and Big Boy, because they showed us that we could be different. And I think that's the biggest reason why I have Outkast on the list is the courage to be different than what everyone else was doing. And what is hip hop about? It's about exploring new sounds and being different. And there's a lot of popular rappers of the last 20 years that did that.
Okay, so next I got Nas next because I couldn't put JC on there without putting Nas. Just like if I was gonna put Biggie on there or Pac on there, I couldn't put neither one of them without the other because, like I said, talking about when we go back to Biggie, talking about storytelling, doing different things in the hip hop, having the kids come in, you know what I'm saying, making dreams come true for kids, and you know what I'm saying. Nas was one of those guys that he didn't do a lot of things, but his word spoke to millions. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do a lot of things, but he could let the pen write. He could let the pen talk. And he let that pen talk lots and lots and lots. You know what I'm saying? Vertiza say some of his older stuff and his newer stuff compared to some of his older stuff, but had if I can make Jay-Z and Nas one person, if I can make Pac and Biggie one person, I would have, but I put Nas on there.
Oh man, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, audience. We gonna have a lot of work to do when we get done, because right now we only 3 for 8. Eminem, gotta put the white boy on it. He just brought a whole different audience to hip hop that we hadn't really had before. Like, yeah, we had Vanilla Ice and yeah, we had the Beastie Boys, but they just didn't have the success that Eminem did, and it wasn't as authentic as his success. Where like Vanilla Ice felt like a gimmick, and no offense to the Beastie Boys, when you listen to their music, it's kind of weird. It sounds a lot rockish more than hip hopish, to be honest. But Eminem was like truly hip hop, you know, and it brought a whole different audience. And without that, like the rappers don't make the money that they're making now, like without the white audience, and it allowed a lot of other black artists to tap into that, as well as when we talk about storytelling, when we talk about lyricism, you know, he took what Rakim did, he took what Biggie did, and he just took it to a whole nother level with songs like Stan, that was like one of the greatest storytelling songs in hip hop, as well as a lot of the people that he inspired after him. There's a lot of rappers over the last 15 years that are here because of Eminem. You get a Kendrick Lamar, you get a J. Cole, you get some of my favorite artists like a Logic and like a Joyner Lucas who are truly inspired by Eminem. I'll say this right here. I felt like I typed this up because I wanted to make sure I articulate this very well, because I'm going to put it in basketball terms. Pac and Biggie are Magic and Bird. They breathed, Magic and Bird brought the NBA to life. And that's what Pac and Biggie did. They made hip hop boom. And then MJ took it to a level that we never thought it would reach, where people could become truly rich off of it. Eminem did what MJ did for hip hop. He made it where niggas could really, really become truly millionaires from just picking up a mic because of the audience that he brought to hip hop, which hip hop had never had before.
Yeah, I got Slim Shady on the list. I won't go say them yet, but I got Slim Shady on my list. And what I'm not disagreeing with what you said about him bringing he did bring he brought a whole nother audience, and that's how he was able to be who he was. And then I can't say people didn't start looking at him differently or buying. They probably did. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
somebody looking at hip hop differently?
Yeah.
When you look at hip hop before him, a lot of the rappers did not have a white fan base. But then when you look at after Eminem, a lot of the biggest people who endorse hip hop are white dollars, statistically. You know, and to me, like, I just feel like that's a correlation. Once he came into it, white people said, oh, let's check this out. And then guess what happened? They got introduced to a Jay-Z, a DMX, and all these other rappers, and was like, oh, wow, this is very interesting or whatever. It's kind of like what Caitlin Clark did for the WNBA. Now you got people who did not know who Adrian Wilson was, and like, yo, this bitch can ball. Since you did say Eminem, I did fuck up like I did with Big. I forgot to say one more thing. he also showed us he created the two persona. And before Eminem, most of the time when a rapper had a name like Jay-Z or Ice Cube or Ice-T, we didn't think about them as two different people. He actually was Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers, and he made it very clear in his music. He dropped albums called the Marshall Mathers LP, then he dropped the Slim Shady Show, and we ended up getting what? T.I., Tip. We ended up getting rappers who like, I'm Kanye, and Kanye was two different people. Like, we ended up getting rappers who like literally created a persona just for hip hop, but then let you see the other side of themselves too.
Yeah. And did I call him Eminem or did I call him Slim Shady? I have him on my. I didn't call him Eminem on my list. I called him Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember which one I called him, but I'll go back and listen to it. It's on wax.
Yeah.
It's a good thing about doing it on wax. We can go back and listen to it and see what I've said. But yeah, I got Slim Shady on there. Just because kind of sort of same thing, like because when he came out, the white fans showed out. You know what I'm saying? They showed out. And I'm gonna tell you this: his numbers.
You might not get a little Yachty if I Eminem, to be honest.
His numbers wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't for the white people.
Oh no, I completely agree.
But you can't take that away because the numbers are numbers; they don't lie. But yeah, Slim Shady, you can't tell the rap game without Slim Shady because he broke in because, like you said, it was other people, but it wasn't nobody that everybody adopted.
Yeah,
everybody adopted him. People they still have push. He had a lot of pushback, but they couldn't deny he did his thing.
Yeah. He had enough of black fans where we accepted him, but the white people embraced him. And, hey, man, Lil Yachty, if you want to be real, Lil Yachty and Uzi Vert, I think they got more white fans than black fans if you want to be real. Like, there's so many black rappers nowadays that they live just off of white dollars.
Yeah, and like 50, like with him co-signing 50 would not be who he was if it wasn't for M co-signing him.
I mentioned how a lot of people brought people. M brought 50 into the game because that's a contribution to hip hop history.
Because 50 would not be 50 if it wasn't for M co-signing him, and I'm standing on that.
All right, man. So we got four. So for my ninth nigga, Kanye West. I talk about with Outkast creativity and being different. We don't get a Kanye West without Outkast. Because what Kanye did with College Dropout was so much different than what we heard. He took rap from being about the streets and gangster to about going to school, about dropping out, about then graduating, about, just to be honest, everyday life stuff that a lot of civilians understood. Because what most of these rappers rap about, I'm just gonna be real, most civilians don't relate to that shit. Most of them ain't never sold the pack. They ain't never ran a train on a bitch. They ain't never, did coke, But then Kanye came and he rapped about just ordinary life. Also, he was one of the first rappers to really be like, man, I'm a producer too. And he produced so many of his tracks, and he showed that, yo, man, y'all need to produce your beats. And it inspired, for better or worse, let me be real, for better or worse, because some of these rappers be producing their own songs, Rose, and they need to just get an actual producer. But it did inspire a lot of rappers to then say, you know what, I can produce my own shit or whatever. And it inspired people who was producers to say, yo, I can step into the booth, like I said, for better or for worse, because some of the niggas need to stay in the fucking booth. What did Drake tell Metro Boomin? Niggas shut up and make some drums. Some of the niggas need to stay and do that shit. But, it created that genre that we hear today called backpack rap. That's what Kanye did. And you got a Lupe because of that. You got a Kid Cudi because of that. You got a Wiz Khalifa because of that. You got a Wale because of that. You even got a Drake because of that. And then the biggest thing is he introduced with his samples, because I don't know if you've ever been online and looked up some of Kanye's crazy samples. Like Kanye is a genius for this point alone. He took country songs, rock songs, and sampled them into hip hop. Neo songs, old school R&B songs. He even took songs from the 70s funk songs and made them popular things. And you know, man, hey, he rapped on he made a song they called Jesus Walks, you know, and changed the whole narrative about, yo, I can rap about whatever I want if I do it well enough, it'll get record play.
Yeah, I had him on my list. I wanted to put him on my list, so that's gonna be easy. We can probably fit him in there. That's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy. That's gonna be easy. But next I got on my list Master P. Master P.
Oh man. I was, you know what's so crazy? He's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I had to put Master P on there because he was the first rapper slash business owner, whatever. He was dropping albums every month. And then like when you back then you just had to buy the albums, and then like with his cover art and everything else, like he made the cover art make you might not even want to listen to the album, but you wanted to collect the cover art. You know what I'm saying? Just to have the cover art in the binder and just collect it so you can read it and look at it. It was it's it was it was crazy, man. And then he brought a whole era to rap and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Talking about drugs and all kind of stuff. The Ice Cream man, it's and then he brought out he put so many people on, and it brought light to everybody in New Orleans and everything. Man, I had to put Master P on there because that era of rap and hip hop in the '90s, it was unmatched, and it hasn't been matched to this day.
Let me tell you something funny, man. He was so close to being on my list, and let me tell you what's so funny. That's probably gonna be one of the people that I'm actually gonna concede and swap him out for someone when we have to make our list together. And some people might be mad and be like, "But damn, why you exchange Master P, but you didn't, you know, concede on these niggas?" It's so hard to deny Master P's greatness for what he did because you don't get a Jay-Z without Master P. You know, you don't get some of these business savvy people without Master P. He did lay the blueprint for a lot of that stuff. And how you were saying about dropping the music so often, like that's actually kind of the reason why I got this last person. My last person, man, Lil Wayne. There was a 4-year stretch where Lil Wayne took over the rap game. And he was the only one, like if you did not say he was the best rapper, you got into real arguments. And that's how dope Lil Wayne was. But to your point about what Master P, how he was dropping the shit all the time, Lil Wayne had like a 3 to 5 year stretch where he dropped the album every year and a mixtape. He had years where he dropped the album and 2 mixtapes in the same year. But during that same course, he was also on other people's songs. Like Lil Wayne changed the rap game so much because like before Lil Wayne, outside of Master P, a lot of rappers was not dropping music that fast. You know, they would kind of disappear for at least a year or 2 before they dropped another project. And Lil Wayne was like, nah, I'm gonna just consistently drop music. You know, to the point where when you get like I don't know if you pay attention to one of the criticisms on Kendrick Lamar, Rose. One of the criticisms of Kendrick Lamar is he takes so long to drop music. But the funny part is that he only get that criticism because people are holding him to the standard that Lil Wayne gave us in the 2000s, where he was making music so fucking often that it was just ridiculous how often he was making music. Also, he was the first black rapper. I talked about Eminem to actually tap into Eminem's white fan base. Like when you look at Lil Wayne's fan base, it's a lot of maggots in that. It's a lot of MAGAs in that. And that was before he was supporting Trump. Like, he had a lot of white people that supported him. And even though Lil Wayne rapped about gangster stuff, I'm going to be real. If you really listen to Lil Wayne's lyrics, like, that was maybe 10% of his music. But Lil Wayne was probably the first rapper, and I say this respectfully, to rap about nothing. To just get on the track and just rap. And it sound cool. There was no meaning behind the shit. There was no message. He actually made being a rapper like a comedian. Like, when you hear a comedian tell a joke, Rose, and you just waiting for the punchline, that's what Lil Wayne did.
Yeah.
He made it where it was not even about listening to the story of the song no more. It was just about just the punchline in the song. And then what happened? A lot of other rappers tried to emulate the same thing. Fuck the meaning of the song. I just want to say something cool that you can just repeat to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like only G's moving sounds like lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Then he started singing on the hooks too, like Lollipop and stuff. And then other rappers started imitating that. He gave us Nicki Minaj, who you can make the argument is the greatest female rapper of all time. He gave us Drake, who's the most successful commercial rapper of all time. And then he inspired a whole wave of another generation of artists. So, you know, that would be my 10. Who from my list are you willing to be like, you know what, I'm going to take this person off my list to exchange it for someone on your list?
I'll tell you that in a little bit, but because I still got one more. You went first.
Oh, I did go first. My bad. I apologize.
So it was funny that was your last rapper, because it would be no Lil Wayne without Birdman. Brian Williams. Got him on the list because, like I said, with Jay-Z and Nas, Tupac and Biggie, Master P and Birdman, they brought us things and did things in the rap industry that nobody has done. Birdman, if Birdman wouldn't have found this 12-year-old kid and took him under his wing, there would be no Drake. There would be no, you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? He brought us one, probably argument, the one of the best top 5, I could definitely say top 5 songs ever, you know what I'm saying? Back that thing up with Juvenile.
Yeah.
Juvenile, you know what I'm saying? He created Stuntin'. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was he's still doing things to this day, but we wouldn't have some of the things in rap if it wasn't for Birdman. So I had to put him on the list because he brought us some of those things, and those things still going on today. It's like Stuntin'. Every rapper that come out now, they gotta have a chain. They gotta have something. They gotta be stunt. They gotta be something like show how much money they got, even though they might not have no money at all. They could be wearing fake chains, but everybody want to be a stunner like Baby. Everybody want to be the number one stunner. Everybody want to be the number one stunner, and it went from not just rappers, but to regular people. To regular people, like it's a wave that has never stopped since he started it. And he put gold teeth and diamonds in his grill, and to this day, people are still doing that, and it ain't died.
And TK Kirtland got a story about Birdman saying he was the first person I met that doesn't respect money. And they said, "What you mean?" When I went to his place, and this was like early in their run, he said they had nothing but Hummers all in their driveway and stuff, and the tires was flat because they had been sitting there so long.
Trying to tell you, man. So I that's why I got Birdman in there, man. So you asked me a question probably 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot that I went first.
So I wish I would have wrote down all yours, but a person that I need to switch out for somebody that you said. That what you asked me?
Yeah. We agreed on Rakim. We agreed on.
I remember the ones we agreed on. Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, Slim Shady. I think that was it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna switch out Nas for LL Cool J. I wanted to put him on my list, but I had to have everybody on my list too. So I'm gonna switch out Nas for LL Cool J. So I'm conceding to LL.
I'm gonna add Master P. That's gonna give us 6, and I'm gonna take off. If I add Master P, I'm gonna take off Outkast because that's gonna represent the South. Master P's gonna represent the South.
Okay. And I'm going to.
Now I can tell you straight up. I don't feel like I need to add it. I feel like I could tell hip hop without talking about Jay-Z, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's no one that I said or you said that I feel like Jay-Z doesn't do. Like me adding Master P, that's the business acumen. So I don't need Jay-Z for the business acumen. The storytelling and lyricism, he doesn't do that better than nobody that we have. So for that, I don't feel no need to. I'm not going.
Who said I might switch Jay-Z out?
No, I was just giving heads up. Like I'm just saying, like straight up, like yeah, Jay-Z. I'm just gonna put him to the side. But there are some niggas you have that's like, I'm ready to listen to.
Yeah. So I'm up next. So this is gonna be hard. So it's like. I kind of want to do Puff Daddy for Dr. Dre, but Puff Daddy is so influential and like did so much stuff. I don't really want to change him from my list because he's had put so many people on, and then like even the people that he didn't put on, he just like a person that he can make a phone call to somebody. Like Nori was talking about how he had some interviews. He took some stuff out of some interviews, and only reason he did it because Puff called him. You know what I'm saying? He was so influential. You know what I'm saying? Like to everybody in hip hop, like everybody respected him. And like, so I don't really want to take Puff off the list, but I could see. I wanted to put Dre on there. But I put Cube on there just because of the movies and things like that. But
yeah, I probably.
But I'm gonna take Cube off and put Dre.
Okay, then. Yeah, I could have went either way with that one, Dre or Cube, just because they both kind of connected.
And it was hard because I wanted Dre, because if it wasn't for Dre, there's a rapper that we didn't even name that the most famous rapper in the world,
Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I actually had him on my list when I put in parentheses people that Dre put on. It was Snoop Dogg.
So who we got so far?
So we got 7 people we agreed on. I got Lil Wayne left, Kanye West left, and I got Curtis Blow left. Those are my 3 people. You got Birdman left.
I got Birdman. I got Puff Daddy. And I got Jay-Z. And there's people that we can name some people that ain't even on the list if you want to.
Yeah, we could, but I don't feel like there's nobody that we did not name. In my opinion, I don't feel like there's nobody that we did not name that I feel like we need to exchange. But I feel like the conversation is pretty much people we name, if I'm being honest. I'm not that strong on Puff Daddy only because I look at his contributions within hip hop being like more so like not like just kind of out of it, like not really necessary, more so like as a CEO.
Yeah.
Then as someone who contributed like how Dr. Dre did with the beats and bringing actual artists with talent and stuff. Like I look at so much of Puff Daddy's success as being tied to Biggie, at least in the hip hop. The Birdman one, I'm conflicted on because I feel you on the Birdman one because of all that stuff. The only thing that kind of got me with Birdman is I just wish he would have made probably more music like Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like I wish he would have been if he would have been a producer like Dr. Dre, I probably wouldn't even think about it. You know, or if he would have had more hit songs by him just self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I look at Birdman more like a CEO too.
Yeah, those are CEOs, but they also rap. So it was kind of hard. So I had you can't tell the story of hip hop without Kanye West, because all his stuff politically, all his stuff within him and Jay-Z. So I'm switching because Jay-Z tried to little boy him and try to sit him in the corner.
Oh my God.
No, you don't need to be a rapper. You need to make some beats. But his albums are better than Jay-Z's albums, as you ask me.
I definitely agree with what Ray Daniels said on the Joe Budden podcast. Kanye West albums have definitely aged better.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray Daniels said something I thought was very profound. Jay-Z was trying to chase what was hot, and if you listen to his albums, where especially his biggest songs, they sound like the time. Whereas Kanye West, he was trying to chase new sounds.
Yeah, and some of those songs that he was trying to chase, Kanye made the beat.
True.
So I'm switching Jay-Z for Kanye.
So we at 8, man. We need to come on 2, and I probably would concede on Curtis Blow. And the only reason why I would concede on Curtis Blow is if you're giving me LL Cool J, I can make the case that as much as I like Curtis Blow and he was the first star, LL Cool J surpassed him and he was the first big star in the 80s. They both was in the 80s, and if I had to say who was the biggest star, LL Cool J was easily the biggest star. So I'm willing to concede on Curtis Blow. Who would you want from your list to take Curtis Blow's spot?
I can
because I think you got Nas and Birdman left.
I already gave Nas. I gave Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah, you took, yeah. So who you?
I gave Cube. But so Curtis Blow the only one you got left?
I got Curtis Blow and Lil Wayne left because we agreed on so far 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'll give.
So you should have 2 people left.
I'll give. Yeah, I got Birdman and Puff Daddy. I'll give you Puff Daddy for Curtis Blow, but I can't give you Birdman for Weezy because if it wasn't for Birdman, there would be no Weezy. but if we just gonna talk about rappers, then I'll give you Wayne. I'll give you Wayne.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. If he just did more rapping or just production, I just don't want to put niggas who I just look at CEOs.
Yeah.
You know,
only reason why I had those on there because we talking about the story of hip hop, the history of hip hop. So it's kind of like it's like if the daddy wasn't born, the son wouldn't have been born.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It's also because I look at like who's on the list does something different. If I got Master P, I feel like I got Birdman and did it. Because I got CEOs.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Because like I said, if I could have combined people, I would have combined Jay-Z and Nas. I would have combined Master P and Birdman. I would have combined Tupac and Biggie. But can't do that. So I'll give you Puffy and I'll give you Birdman, and we can round it out.
So you let me keep my last 2 guys?
Yeah.
So Curtis Blow and Lil Wayne? Yeah. All right, so let me go on, say the list so all the fans can hear the list we got. And I'm pretty sure, lately y'all been active in the comment section. So if y'all disagree, please hop in the comment section. So we're going to go Curtis Blow, LL Cool J, Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, Master P, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kanye West, and Lil Wayne. Those are the 10 people that if we telling the story of hip hop and we teaching the hip hop class, they the essentials. You got any final thoughts, Rose?
Yeah, probably. I just want to talk about just two people from the South that changed hip hop. Future and Jeezy. I I couldn't have put them on my. I couldn't put Jeezy on my list because he, as far as a rapper, he doesn't compete with the likes of names that we named, but he had a whole movement. And Future, his longevity of just making hits that people love. And if you go to the club, you go to hear at least 5 of his songs. And you go hear more of his songs than you hear anybody else on this list. From back in the 2000s, early 2000s. Well, not too much early 2000s because he went out, but you know what I'm saying, the mid 2000s, 2007, 2008, you know what I'm saying, to not probably not that far back, but probably the 2010s, the teens to now. His run is kind of unmatched, you know what I'm saying? He's still doing it to this day. But I just wanted to mention those guys because those are two of my favorite rappers, and I just had to mention them because those are my honorary mentions.
Earlier, we was talking about Chris Brown and Usher. Rashonda Landfair, who was known as the girl that R. Kelly peed on when she was 14. She's 41 years old now. She wrote a book. The book's entitled "Who's Watching Shorty? Reclaiming Myself from the Shame of R. Kelly." I cannot dispute whatever she went through. I wasn't there. All I can say is this, man. In the Black community, our heroes, our legends, our icons are being attacked all the time. They are trying to wipe away people like Bill Cosby's, Russell Simmons, and R. Kelly's legacy over stuff that we cannot prove. And I get sick and tired of when we have conversations about the king of R&B, people are afraid to bring up R. Kelly when there's nobody in the history of R&B who has been more influential to it than him. I can't dispute this woman's stories. It's her story to tell. But all I will say is this. You're 41 years old now. You're writing a book on it. And you're probably monetizing the book. And you're showing your face finally. I think it's convenient that you're doing this now that R. Kelly's locked up. And he doesn't have the ability to give you money. Because I'm pretty sure if we was to check her bank account, we might see some checks that R. Kelly was sending her. And she even claimed that up until she was 25, Rose, she maintained a relationship with R. Kelly. There's a whole conversation about victim mentality and all that other stuff. That doesn't sound like you didn't have a role to play in that, just to me, man. In the words of Airbnb Rakim piece.
Yeah, man. Y'all catch out the next light, man. We in traffic. And I'm back quiet. Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. Usher, MLK, and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.